Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. Today's story is filled with betrayal, humiliation, and a revenge so powerful it shook an entire family. Get comfortable, because this one will leave you speechless. The rain hit the window like tiny stones as Lydia stood in the cramped kitchen of the small apartment she shared with her husband Daniel. 7 months pregnant, exhausted and nauseous, she gently rubbed her belly, whispering, "Don't worry, baby. Mommy is trying her best." Daniel came from wealth, a lot of wealth, old generational money that flowed through his family like blood. But Lydia, she came from nothing. She grew up working at her mother's small grocery shop, saving every little coin until she finally earned a scholarship for nursing school. That was where she met Daniel, kind, charming, gentle, or at least he used to be. Everything changed the moment Lydia became pregnant. Daniel's mother, Mrs. Whitmore, and his sister, Vanessa, believed Lydia had trapped Daniel, that she never deserved to be part of their wealthy elite circle. They barely attended the wedding, and when they did, they carried faces of mourning rather than celebration. For months, Lydia endured their insults in silence, but nothing compared to what was coming. It was the day of the baby shower, something Lydia herself never asked for. Vanessa insisted on hosting it. Lydia was nervous, but she hoped it would be a chance to finally bond with Daniel's family. She spent the morning doing her makeup slowly, trying to hide the swelling under her eyes. Daniel, who had been distant for weeks, barely looked at her. "Aren't you excited?" she asked him softly. Daniel shrugged. "My family's doing this for you. Just behave yourself. Please, and don't embarrass anyone." The words stabbed her heart. Embarrass? How? But she stayed quiet. They drove to the Whitmore mansion. Huge golden gates, fountains, luxurious marbled floors. A place Lydia still felt like a stranger in. When they entered the backyard, decorated with pastel balloons and silk drapes, Lydia's heart warmed. It looked beautiful. She whispered, "Maybe this day will be good." She was wrong. The moment she stepped into the crowd, Vanessa tapped a spoon against a glass dramatically. "Everyone, before we begin, let's play a little game." Lydia forced a smile. She hated games, especially public ones. Vanessa continued, "We all know Lydia's background. So let's guess. What was the poorest thing she did growing up?" A wave of laughter rolled through the guests. Lydia froze. Daniel didn't defend her. He didn't even look at her. Vanessa grinned wickedly. "I'll go first. She once told me she used to share one bowl of rice with two siblings. Can you imagine? One bowl? That's tragic." The crowd laughed again. Another voice chimed in. "Did she even use real skincare growing up? Probably washed her face with river water, or cooked with wood, or wore the same shoes for 3 years." The laughter became sharper, louder. Lydia felt the whole world disappearing beneath her feet. Her chest tightened. Her palms shook. Tears pressed heavily behind her eyelids, but she refused to let them fall. Vanessa stepped close and whispered cruelly, "Don't cry, Lydia. You'll ruin the photos. Poor people tears are too salty." The guests laughed again. That was it. Lydia couldn't breathe. She walked away from the crowd, hand over her stomach, shivering uncontrollably. Daniel followed her, but instead of comfort, he said, "Why are you making a scene? They're just joking." "Joking?" Her voice cracked. "That was humiliation." He sighed. "You're too sensitive. Just go home if you can't handle it." He tossed the car keys in her hand and walked back to the party, leaving his pregnant wife standing alone in a garden full of strangers. That moment broke something inside her. For days, Lydia barely spoke. But she didn't cry. She didn't complain. She didn't beg for kindness. Instead, she planned. Because Lydia wasn't just a poor pregnant woman. She was smart. She was educated. She was observant. And she had kept every insult, every humiliation, every act of cruelty in her heart, storing them like ammunition. And now she had enough. Her chance came faster than expected. Vanessa was obsessed with image and reputation. She ran a luxury charity foundation, one that claimed to support underprivileged children. But Lydia, being a nurse and volunteer, had long suspected something fishy. She had seen the files. She had seen the numbers. Millions in donations collected, but barely anything reaching the children. So Lydia began to dig, quietly, carefully, secretly. She gathered receipts, photocopied bank statements, took photos of hidden files, collected testimonies from volunteers, parents, staff. She found proof of embezzlement, fraud, and money laundering so heavy that the foundation could crumble overnight. She didn't tell Daniel. He didn't deserve her loyalty anymore. She didn't tell anyone. She just waited. The Whitmore family hosted a grand gala, filled with politicians, CEOs, and international donors. Vanessa was the star of the show. Cameras flashed. People applauded. She basked in the attention like a queen. Lydia arrived late, dressed in a simple but gorgeous velvet gown, belly round and glowing, not from happiness, but from power. Vanessa spotted her and smirked. "Look who decided to come. Don't faint from seeing so many rich people, okay?" Lydia smiled calmly. "You'll be shocked tonight too, Vanessa. I promise." The event began. Vanessa stepped on stage to give her charity speech. That was Lydia's moment. She quietly handed a sealed envelope in USB drive to the event coordinator with one sentence. "Play this instead of her speech. It's urgent. It's about the safety of the children." Coordinators, being fearful of liability issues, didn't question her. They ran the file. Suddenly, the giant screen lit up, showing documents, bank transfers, recordings, and testimonies, all exposing Vanessa's crimes. The room gasped. Vanessa froze on stage. Mrs. Whitmore stood up, shouting, "Turn that off! Who did this?" The crowd murmured, "She stole donation money? She lied about helping children? Is this real?" Vanessa screamed Lydia's name, but Lydia didn't shake. She stepped forward, voice steady. "It's all real. These children deserve better. And you mocked me for being poor, while you stole from the poor." Every camera turned toward Lydia. She stood tall, strong, unbroken. Daniel looked at her with shock and shame. Vanessa tried to deny everything. But police officers, who Lydia had already sent evidence to, walked into the hall. Right on cue, the crowd gasped again. The officers approached Vanessa. "Vanessa Whitmore, you're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and child welfare violations." Vanessa screamed, cried, begged. Mrs. Whitmore fainted. Daniel stood frozen. And Lydia? She stayed calm. Later that night, Daniel followed Lydia to the car. "Lydia, why didn't you tell me?" She looked him right in the eyes. "You stopped listening a long time ago." He swallowed hard. "Can we fix this?" She shook her head. "I'm raising my child in peace, not in humiliation." Daniel fell to his knees beside the car, tears in his eyes. Mrs. Whitmore tried calling Lydia for weeks, begging her to visit, but Lydia didn't return, not to the mansion, not to the family, not to the pain. Instead, she focused on her baby, her job, her future, and the world praised her for exposing corruption. She became the face of integrity. Donations for the children more than doubled under new honest leadership. Her revenge didn't just destroy Vanessa, it saved hundreds of innocent children, and for the first time in her life, Lydia walked with her head held high. And that is how a poor, pregnant black woman turned humiliation into power. Never underestimate someone with a pure heart and a strong spirit. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more dramatic stories every day. Let me know in the comments, what part shocked you the most?